This is the new trailer for Ananta? Wait, where are all the ugly female characters?
Yes, let it out. Have a good cry.
What is up, space pirates? This is your Admiral, the tantalizingly taboo Dr. Disaster, and the game Ananta has been described as the anime GTA. And if that sounds awesome to you, you're not alone. There are already over 10 million people who are pre-registered and ready to play this game.
Holy shit!
Just take a look at the footage from the trailer that they just put out yesterday for Ananta, and you will understand why so many people are already psyched for this game. The characters don't look ugly as hell, like all the Western games these days. The gameplay looks amazing, as Arch wrote over on X, so this literally just looks like the best parts of every game ever. Now bear in mind, that means the developers are making not one, but like 6 games in one. That could go very wrong, but for now, excited. Collectively, gamers have looked at this game and said, "Oh, hell yeah!" And best of all, just about the only thing that could have held back Ananta, besides not sticking the landing and having actually fun gameplay, was turning into the sort of gacha money sinks that gamers despise. But it looks like the makers of the game have decided to go a different route with how to monetize Ananta. It looks like they are not doing what other free-to-play games do, where anytime you want to do anything cool, they ask you the same question over and over.
Got any money?
No, instead, their monetization revolves around fashion for the characters, which is the proper way to do it in my view. Meanwhile, the usual suspects are out here whining and crying because Ananta is supposedly copying Insomniac's Spider-Man 2. Meanwhile, if this were any Western studio making ugly-ass games and sending free copies to these critics, you just know that these game journalists would overlook any so-called plagiarism and they'd call it the greatest game ever. Meanwhile, in this article here from The Gamer, for example, they are whining and trying to drive people away from Ananta, but it isn't working. Western gaming studios and their game journalist pals have abandoned gamers. They stopped giving us what we want, so when these journalists start whining like this on behalf of their corporate benefactors, it just doesn't faze us any longer.
No! I can't hear you!
Alright, me hearties, make sure that you hit the like button on this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I've had a lot of people tell me that they have been unwillingly unsubscribed to the channel, so make sure that you check in on that, and there's been a lot of talk about restricted mode being automatically enabled for a lot of users on YouTube, which would cut you off from a lot of your favorite channels, so don't forget to check into that as well, and turn it off if it's been turned on and you don't want it. But anyhow, let's take a look at Ananta, shall we? First, let's look at this news here from the website Automaton, where they explain how they are planning to monetize this game because the game journalists are trying to make Ananta sound like something it is trying to avoid. It says here, Chinese developer NetEase has recently revealed a brand new gameplay trailer for their upcoming urban open world RPG, Ananta. Despite there being no official release date as of yet, the game has already garnered a steady amount of hype, reaching over 11 million pre-registrations globally. The appealing mix of GTA and Spider-Man-like gameplay with anime girls is what seems to have piqued the interest of 2B players, but being a high-budget free-to-play title, Ananta's monetization model is inevitably a point many have been curious about. Surprisingly, the developers have not settled for gacha. While its 3D anime-inspired visual style is strongly reminiscent of popular gacha games like Genshin Impact, Japanese game media outlet Famitsu confirms that Ananta is not going to have a character gacha system. This means that all of the playable characters will be obtainable for free, unlocked as you progress the story. Instead, Ananta's monetization will rely on cosmetics. The game will have customization options for outfits, vehicles, and the player's house, so if you want to make your characters feel truly yours, you might have to spend $1 or $2 on skins and other cosmetics. And that seems pretty fair to me. I mean, they have to try to make money somehow, right? They can't just put this together for free. But, as you may recall, this same company that is making Ananta, NetEase, is the one that made Marvel Rivals. And that game has a monetization plan that works really well for them, which sounds pretty similar to what's being described here. They make the characters in Rivals free for anyone to use, but if you want some of these spicy outfits, then you have to pay a few bucks. A lot of the big whales, people with deep pockets who play these games and don't care about spending money on a game like this, they sustain these companies while everyone else plays for free or comparatively very little, as you might be compelled to spend a few bucks on an outfit or two because you really like them. But with all that in mind, look at this headline then from The Gamer. You can practically taste the venom dripping from their tongues as they write this, furious that one of their corporate buddies is being shown up. Their headline says, Ananta isn't anime GTA 6, it's a creatively bankrupt gacha game. Look at how they smear them, trying to get you to dismiss this game. It really pisses them off that NetEase exists and keeps putting out the games that Western studios refuse to make. But anyhow, down in the article it says, developed by Naked Rain and published by NetEase, this open-world gacha adventure is clearly trying to bring the anime GTA 6 meme to life with a game that allows you to drive around a sprawling city by hijacking any car you stumble across, which can also be used during epic chase sequences and shootouts with enemies. You can also soar across the skyline with swinging and parkour mechanics that are pulled straight from the Insomniac Spider-Man titles. I would call it loosely inspired, but the animations are near identical. It allows you to soar into the air using momentum just like those games, or slide around the corners or buildings and sprint up surfaces like the PlayStation exclusive Wall Crawler. And then, look at that header there. It sucks games can look this good and feel so hollow. But you know, it doesn't look hollow to me at all. In fact, it looks awesome. And any game that has these game journalist shills and progressive mouthpieces, this butthurt has almost by default got my stamp of approval. The thing is, you don't hear these people complain when the 73rd game this year comes out ripping off the Dark Souls and Elden Ring combat veneer, and you don't hear them complaining that Astrobot was really derivative of 3D Mario games. That doesn't bother them because the studio that made it is probably a part of their club of studios that send them review copies of the game and give them early and exclusive access to information, propping them up and allowing them to exist in the first place. But you know, while the animation between Spider-Man and Ananta is similar, if it is actionable, then I guess we will hear from Sony and Insomniac sometime soon, won't we? They will start a lawsuit, and if they do, and if they win, then all Ananta has to do is change a few things in their animation, and it will be fine. In the meantime, I fail to see how this affects me as a gamer who just wants to play something fun, because the truth is, it doesn't. And I have long ago made peace with the fact that developers often use each other's work. I simply don't care. But I'm going to leave it there. Drop your mockery of game journalists into the comment section below, and we will talk there. Thanks for watching me, Hearties. If you haven't already, your Admiral is inviting you to subscribe to the channel and become a part of the crew. Life as a space pirate may not be glamorous, but there's always plenty of booty.